Hey.
This is Sam, who's the actual listing agent, and they just popped in while I was setting up.
That's great. Hey, can I talk to you for just a second?
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I thought my furniture would be more useful here than in storage.
No, it's great.
Huh?
Yeah.
I know how to sell the idea of a happy family.
Mom's gonna be pissed.
The kitchen is right around here.
Hi, and welcome to Kelly, where we talk about life, your life and my life, and through Kelly, we hope to inspire. I have Kevin Johnson on the show today, and Kevin Johnson, you play Sam. Pronounce the last name.
Sam Dermody.
Dermody
Yeah.
on Ozark. I'm telling you, this to me is the best show I have seen in a long time. My husband and I sat down and vegged out on this whole thing. I can't wait for the next coming season.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me what's going on and how, let's talk about, because this show is about education. So for a minute, let's talk about your career as an actor.
Sure.
And how you booked this wonderful job on the show that I need to be on.
So I used to live in Charlotte, North
Okay.
Carolina, where the film industry was big at one point.
Right.
And then it dried up because tax incentive went away. So shocker.
Right.
The jobs went away.
Right.
So I moved here in 2015, and I got the audition for Ozark probably like maybe 6 months later. And yeah, I was like jogging, and I saw breakdown, Sam Dermody, loves his dog, real estate agent, kind of quirky. And I thought, all right, well, I got this. I think I know what they're looking for. So I taped it, sent it in, felt good about it. And then I found out that they were going to go with somebody older.
Oh, wow.
So I said, okay, well, that's
sucks.
the name of the game.
Yeah.
And then I was driving to Charlotte for a callback for like a short film. And my agent calls me and he says, hey, they want to book you for Ozark.
And it was the same character.
It's the same character, yeah. So they must have changed their mind and said, hey, we're going to go with somebody younger. And it worked out for me.
Wow. So how much creative energy did you get to put in your character? Did you develop him? I mean, you obviously got the the description of him, and how much did you get to put in that, and how much were you directed to put into him?
So the way I guess most TV works is they kind of write as they go a lot of times. So when I got on set to film my first episode, I became friends with one of the head writers, and she just loved what I brought with my first scene, and they kind of wrote around how Kevin would be.
Right.
So Kevin is kind of Sam to the nth degree.
Right.
Yeah,
So like if you
play
were
him.
to go into your, because Sam is he's weak as a person, right? But he has the
Little bit, yeah.
ability to crack. Like you could totally see. I mean, he could just lose it and.
Well, that's what a lot of people think he might be on the verge. I have no clue. It would be nice. I think it's a cool arc to have, and as an actor, that's a dream come true to get to have an arc
right
on a popular TV show.
Absolutely, it's amazing. I told you before you sat down that we had a student that booked on that show, Lucas Colagrass, and he had a little small part. But he played the kid that was almost that Jacob wanted to adopt, but Darlene didn't want to adopt. And just so you know, my husband calls me Darlene all the time. Yeah, it's not nice, is it? It's
Oh,
not nice.
wow.
He says, "Oh, Darlene."
Don't call you a redneck, I'm guessing, right?
So what's going on? What's next with the show?
Well, we're gonna start back up here soon. Probably maybe in the next 3, 4, 5 months. I
Now,
can't
how
really
long have
say
you had
for
off?
Sure, but well, we finished wrapping season 2 last May.
Okay.
Yeah. So they work
So
pretty
you had about a
quickly.
year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And then the show I think it came out August 31st.
Okay.
So they work really quickly when it comes to editing. Like they start editing right away.
Okay.
So yeah. So it'll be out after we shoot, probably like 4, 5, 6 months after we shoot. It comes out really quick.
Yeah. Wow.
Netflix is fast.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great show. Great show. So let's talk about acting because this show is about educating others also. What have you put into your career that you think has gotten you to this point that it could be some pointers to help somebody else?
Well, if you have to do a taped audition, you tape it, send it in, and you try to. I still deal with this myself. You just gotta
forget about it.
You just gotta let it go. And it can be easier said than done.
Right.
Like I still battle it. I'll have I got like a ton of auditions out there right now, and I try not to think about them, but
Right.
you know sometimes they creep in. So just kind of be aware of that.
Do your job and get out.
Yeah, so that helps. Classes are obviously it's like lifting weights. I mean, you're building a muscle.
Right.
Your will is your muscle.
Right.
And you have to continue to work at that.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard. Not. I have a student. She's 10, and she actually went for a chemistry read.
Those are big.
And
Those are good.
it was for Netflix, and she was in the room 2 hours with Forrest Whitaker, and anyway, down to 4 girls in the whole world, lead role.
Wow.
And she knew that 2 of the other girls had not booked it because they had already been called, so she was down to the last 2.
Oh, wow.
And she got the call that she didn't get it. And a 10-year-old, she was devastated. She ripped up her script. She was like, I'm never acting again. And of course, she was at class that night. Her mom made her come. But it's hard.
It can be.
You get that close.
Yeah, it can be difficult. But the good thing to look at is out of a ton of people,
Right.
it was down to her, and you just never know. They could have been looking for somebody taller, somebody with red hair.
It could also
you
be
have
the
no
case
clue.
where they end up using her as another character
Yeah.
for the same production. Or you thought you didn't get it, and then you
Yeah.
got called back.
Mm-hmm.
So
That means they liked her enough to put her down with the last 2.
Right.
So I'm sure she's going to get an opportunity.
right.
With those producers, with that show or another show that they
Yeah,
have coming.
and they
So
may just want to build
she's on
her a
ra-
little bit
their
more
radar,
also. Yeah.
for sure.
So, what are some other things that you've been in and been a part of?
Well, I just not just did, but the movie American Animals. Did you ever see American Animals? It's Bart Layton was the director, and it's a mixture of narrative and documentary. So it's really cool. I definitely recommend it.
And now, where do we see this? Where is it?
It's probably on like Amazon Prime
Okay.
or Blu-ray, DVD.
Okay.
I'm sure it's available. But I play Scruffy Counterfeiter.
Okay.
Was my character's name, and I had a really cool scene with Evan Peters.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely recommend the movie. What's her name from The Handmaid's Tale is in it. The aunt, the one who runs. Oh man, what's her name?
I'm so bad with names.
I want to say Anne McDowd, maybe. I have to double check.
Okay.
But she was in it, and she's brilliant.
Nice. So how is it? Do you feel because there's a point when this dream, like it really is just a dream, and you think, it's so far, and then before you know it, you're walking and talking with main players. So how is that? Does it feel normal to you, or do you pinch yourself sometimes and go, what?
Oh, inside I'm still like a giddy schoolboy, just
I hope
excited.
you never lose that.
No, I think that's once you lose that, then it becomes you get jaded, and you don't want to be jaded in the business.
Right.
But you don't want to be like thinking, oh man, am I going to book this? Am I going to book that? So you kind of want to have that balance of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How's your life changed? Because you got to be a little recognized. That's a big character in.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that character very well. So do you get recognized?
Yeah.
What is that like?
it's still awesome. It's pretty surreal. Like I was in Pittsburgh shooting a movie for a couple days late last year, and me and my buddy who booked the movie as well, we were at a restaurant, and this couple walks by. We're about to leave. They're sitting down. We're about to leave, and she goes, "You look really familiar. Did you work at another restaurant?" Because that's usually how it. It's usually
because
like
you have a face that kind of
yeah,
blends in.
and they just don't. But they just don't know where they know you
Right.
from, and I know that look now.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like the eyes get big, and they're trying to figure it out, and the wheels are turning.
Right.
And then they're like, "Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you're on Ozark."
Right.
So, yeah,
and then,
it's a cool feeling,
but
yeah.
even if they do that when they get home, like later they'll be like, "Wait, I think that was the guy from Ozark."
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you some
thank
candy
you.
to remind you that you're a gift in life. Thank you for coming on and gifting our audience. This show
Absolutely.
is really about, it's inspiring others, to start. So what advice would you give to an actor just starting out?
Hey, actors.
Hello.
I would say you just can't give up. Like I was saying, if you do an audition, send it in, feel good about it, and just kind of let it go. And if you're starting out, get your headshots done, start taking classes, and just enjoy it. Enjoy, what you're doing, because it's, if you're batting 300, you're doing well.
So how did you in the beginning maintain, because it's tough, as an adults, we have to have jobs, we have to have an income coming in. So how did you, what advice would you give to that, sustaining yourself while you're going through the journey?
Oh, well, I have a day job still. I do Uber.
Okay, a lot of people do. Yeah.
It's great. It's flexible.
Uh-huh.
So, if you have an audition that you got to do, you just tell your boss, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm my boss." So you just
Let me tell myself,
Yeah.
we're not working today. We're going to do a different job. But that's important, because people, they have to. You have to realize that you are a business, and so you have to have what it takes to put into your business. How important is who are you with agent wise?
Well, my Southeast agent is Artist Resource Agency.
Okay.
And then I have an agent in LA and a manager in LA that I was able to get because of Ozark. I mean,
Right.
it would be difficult if I didn't have that. So I'm with TCA Management in LA, and Zero Gravity is my manager.
Okay.
in LA.
Now, in the beginning of your career, did you start off with just Actors Access?
I had Actors Access. I had a Southern Casting Call. 800 Casting. Now Casting. There's a lot of them, obviously. But
Yeah. Southern Casting is Jessica Yoshi, I think.
Oh,
Yes?
I
No?
don't know. I haven't done it in a while, but
Okay.
I know it's got a lot
She's
of
been on the show.
independent stuff.
Right.
To get. I always say I recommend doing student films like SCAD, North Carolina School of the Arts. Those are great places to get some good footage,
Yes.
because their students use the best quality, especially if it's like a third or fourth year student. They get really nice equipment to use, so you're going to get some good material.
Yeah,
for sure.
and your first step really is training. Get into a studio that's connected with others, and that's reputable, as far as the industry is concerned, and learn to act. There's so many people that, even if they've been doing theater, like let's say community theater for a long time, they still don't know how to hit those true notes and those real things that really resonate. So it's really important. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad
Thanks for having me.
to meet you guys.
Yeah.
I found this treasure on my Facebook.
Social media.
And yes, and that's how important your social media really is. You do make connections that way. I tell people all the time, especially like students that are acting, look at the casting director, see if they're on social media, and especially on Instagram, because nobody cares if you're on there following them on, they don't care they want you to follow them on Instagram. And then, you know, when they post something, you don't have to be annoying. You can just put great post.
Yeah.
There's so many people that just comment on my Facebook, and I'll end up checking them out just because they've left a couple of comments.
Yeah.
So let people know you and know your face and know what you're doing. And thank you so much for being
thanks
here.
for having me.
You're welcome. Guys, we hope that this segment educated and inspired you.